Good morning and happy Friday. This is week 3 of English 2332. My name is Joseph Fly. I just opened the Turnitin app for your first response paper, so I thought we'd take a moment and talk about that. First of all, if you've never used the Turnitin app before, go watch a YouTube video on it. There are several steps that you have to follow, and it's not that they're difficult or confusing, but you have to follow them exactly right, and you have to be sure to get the digital receipt or your paper didn't go through. Now, my best advice to you is this: when turning your work in, don't wait till the last minute. But if something happens and you have to work on it up until the last minute, the paper's due at 11:55 p.m. on Sunday, February the 8th. If you're still working on it at 11:40, 11:45, I recommend you just stop right there, save. Save as either a DOC, DOCX, or RTF file, and submit right then. Because going through Turnitin will take a couple of minutes. If the app closes at 11:55 and you wait till 11:54, it won't go through on time. So give yourself a good 10 or 15 minutes just to get through the steps to make sure your paper goes through. And again, make sure you get a digital receipt, because until you get a digital receipt, your paper hasn't gone through. Now, let's say you stop working at 11:40, you get ready to submit your paper, and something happens. It just won't go through. Chances are you've saved it as the wrong file type. You just have to convert the file type, no big deal. But if it's anything else, please send it to me. Just email it to me as an attachment. Again, a DOC, DOCX, or RTF file. And as long as I get it before the deadline, I can submit it for you. But yeah, don't remember that late work is not accepted. So get something turned in before the deadline. Let's talk about the paper. Okay, it's a lot less complicated than most students want to believe. I was watching a TikTok video, Professor Galloway, and he was giving words of advice to his students. And one of the first things I remember him saying was, don't miss the easy points. Okay, there are going to be challenging assignments and there are going to be easy assignments. You want to do the best you can on both, but don't mess up the easy points. For example, on this paper, one of the things you're graded on is the format. It has to look just like the format in the handout under the Assignments tab, meaning it has to use Times New Roman font, it has to be double spaced, has to use 12-point Times New Roman font, and as long as you don't mess with the margins, those will be fine. But yeah, so and it has to have the heading, of course, your last name first, your last name last, English 2332, and then the date, which this is February the 8th. And it has to look exactly like it's supposed to look. But that's easy to do. And once you get it set up, you can set up a template and then they all look the same automatically. But that's an easy point, or 10 points, that you don't want to lose. So be sure your paper looks correct. Be sure you follow the assignment. Read the assignment sheet carefully, especially the topic and the grading standards and the due date. And as you work on the paper, let me know if you have any questions. I want to emphasize for you that very first paragraph on the assignment sheet where it says, and I'm quoting somebody from Sonoma University who said, quote, a response paper is your chance to communicate in writing your personal viewpoint and personal learning as they relate specifically to the book, essay, paper, article, etc., and the values and the ideas and values contained therein. A response paper is intended to be a transformative experience. What that means is, as you're writing the paper, you're going to learn more about the text and you will understand it better. That's the transformation. We're not going to alter your basic DNA or change your life form, but it will help you understand the text and appreciate the text better by writing the paper. You get to choose from one of 4 topics, either Humbaba or Ishtar or Enkidu or Shamhat. Once you've chosen one of those 4, you want to narrow in. Now, this is a short paper, 2 to 3 pages, so you don't have enough time, enough space to fully flesh out any of these ideas. So you need to narrow the focus of your response paper. Remember, it's not a research paper. I don't want to know what anyone else thinks, what the published experts have thought about this. I just want to know what you think. You've read the poem. You've read it carefully. You may have read some things about the poem. You've listened to my lectures, seen my PowerPoints. But based on all that stuff, plus your own personal experiences, don't discount your personal experiences. Pick one of those and then narrow that to just one specific thing. For example, if you're going to do Enkidu, well, that's a lot. That's a lot there. You couldn't even tell me everything he is in just 2 pages. So narrow it to just one specific thing about him eating grass, or him freeing animals from the traps, or him wrestling with Gilgamesh. Now, depending on the translation you're reading, it may say that Enkidu lost that. I wouldn't call it a fight. It's more pushing and shoving type of wrestling match. But some of them say Enkidu lost. Some of them say both fighters just got so tired that Enkidu finally said, "Okay, I'm ready to give up." And so in that way, Gilgamesh won. But it's not like he overpowered him drastically. No, these two guys, these two men are pretty much equally matched when it comes to strength and ferocity. That's the right word. So pick one of the things that Ishtar did or said, or Humbaba did or said, Enkidu or Shamhat, or something that someone said about them, some aspect of their character, and just give me your personal feelings about it. Are you repulsed? Are you upset? Are you supportive? What do you think? But remember, the paper's not about you. The paper is about the topic. That has to be the subject of your paper. Humbaba or Ishtar, Enkidu, Shamhat. So you don't want to overuse the first person pronouns. You don't want to put yourself as the subject of the sentences, especially not the thesis and the topic sentences. Make sure those focus on the topic. The thesis, of course, is the last sentence of the introduction. It should be a simple sentence in the fact that it doesn't have a conjunction. It should tell me which topic you chose, which of the characters you chose, and the point you want to make about them. The introduction is short, 2, 3, maybe 4 sentences, and then each body paragraph develops, explains some aspect of that thesis, which is a little bit a broader idea. But again, 2 or 3 pages, you have to get to the point quickly. Okay. Read the point carefully, and especially read the part that you're writing about. You really want to understand that part, because again, another one of those easy points you don't want to miss is when you fundamentally misunderstand, or when you tell me something that's wrong. If you try to convince me that Humbaba was a gentle giant, or that Ishtar was a kind and loving lover, yeah, that's not supported by the text, so you'd lose some serious points for that. Be sure you understand the character. If you have any questions about the response paper, it's due a week from Sunday. Be sure to email me. Please don't use Blackboard Messenger. And please don't, we haven't had this problem yet this semester in this class, but in my other class we did. Don't reply to the emails that come from Do Not Reply at Blackboard. I do get those, but they don't queue up the same as a new email. So I don't see them. My phone doesn't announce them. I don't get a little ding on the computer. So I have to go looking for them. If you'll start a new email, put your class, English 2332, section 151, in the subject line, and then just ask me your question, chances are I can get back to you pretty quickly and give you the information you need, other than having to ask you, well, which class are you in? Well, this, well, that, So, I've had emails bounce back and forth 4 or 5 times before we finally get to the question and I can answer it. So give me as much information as you can in the original email, and I will give you the best answer I can as soon as possible. Don't forget, I do try to answer all emails within 24 hours, but my weekends are pretty cluttered. So anytime after about lunch on Friday, it's kind of iffy. If you email me at 1 o'clock on Friday, you may not hear back until Monday afternoon. So be aware of that. I also wanted to point out that next week we start Homer's Odyssey. The Odyssey, we're going to spend 2 weeks on it, and it's a really great poem. It's an exciting poem. It's got an epic hero with a tragic flaw, and he fights monsters, has all these adventures, and he's captured and escapes, and it's a thrilling tale. And like the Bible, it's also a foundation for other literature. Now, the Odyssey is not as important to world literature as the Hebrew Bible is. The Hebrew Bible is really the bedrock upon which all other literature is formed. But also, don't let me forget, I wanted to mention this again. When we talk about the Hebrew Bible, a lot of people hold that in very high regard as sacred writing. certainly I do too. But in this class, we won't be studying it as sacred writing. We're studying it as literature. So when we talk about it, it's never my intent to offend anyone's religious beliefs. Just kind of remember that that's the aspect of the course and how we're handling the Old Testament. But the Odyssey is also very important. The Greeks' influence spread worldwide, and military and inventions and literature. And so the Odyssey is a powerful example of really, really great storytelling. I hope you enjoy it. We spend 2 weeks on it. And then at the end of the Odyssey, in week 5, we'll have your first exam. It'll be 50 questions, multiple choice. We are using HonorLock as our virtual proctor this semester. If you're uncomfortable with HonorLock, or if you're not sure you have the right equipment, you are more than welcome to stop by during office hours, and I'll give you the test in person. You can take an old-fashioned pencil and paper test. I'll just have to print the test out for you. But I'm happy to do that. Just let me know, especially if you want to come in on a Friday morning. Friday mornings, unfortunately, is when they schedule our meetings. So I'm not in my office every Friday morning. But if you'll let me know when's a good time for you, um, I'll arrange to meet you up here and give you the test, or at least leave a copy for you at the testing center. That's also an option. Then we get into Sappho, and then Sophocles, and Oedipus the King, and Plato, Parable of the Cave, and then I think that's the end of the ancient world, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, we start the Middle Ages after that. So, yeah, our semester is off to a good start. I apologize for the lag in posting comments and videos. The weather just kind of threw my schedule off as much as anyone else's, and so we're working hard to get caught up. I don't think we're going to have to make any adjustments to our calendar. So just stick with the syllabus, and if we do have to make any adjustments, I'll be sure to let you know as soon as I know, and you can plan your day accordingly. If you have any questions, please email me, and I look forward to hearing from you. Have a great weekend.